Hello and welcome to Destiny Digits. This is the expression number 11 reading. Your expression tells you your potential. So if you're watching this, you know that your expression number is 11, and that means that you are almost like a guide, a way shower. You are naturally just therapeutic. You're kind of like the light in the world. You show the path to others. You're very understanding and sensitive, a very considerate person. And people come to you for counsel, and whatever feedback, wisdom, advice you give them in return awakens them, right? So you're almost responsible for turning on people's light switches, which puts them on path for their mission. Um, all right, we'll take this one. Okay, so the first oracle card out is nothing real can be threatened. How can you actively participate in creating heaven on earth? And so I've this message tricked me a couple times. I felt like I couldn't grasp it as well as I would like to have. Excuse me. But I feel like I'm understanding it as, what's for you is for you. What is written will be. And nothing, there is no threat, there is no harm that can come, because all things have already been written. And so once you understand that your story is sacred and it's totally yours and nothing can harm it, then you can kind of embrace it, accept it, and then co-create along with it. Then you can really make it your own once you realize that no harm can come to it. Your true tribe can't show up until you do. How can you show more of the real you? So far, these two first messages, I feel like what we're understanding, we're talking about authenticity, right? Realizing that your life, your mission, your path, your purpose, those are authentically things that belong to you, right? But it requires you to step into who you truly are, your most genuine identity. It's when you step into that identity that you attract the people that vibrate with you, and that play a role in your story. And lastly, we have you are the truth seeker, awakening, actualizing, transcending. How can you invite more grace to guide you? And so I feel like this is going with the flow in life, realizing that you're a dreamer, you're inspirational. And so I feel like this is saying go with the flow, realize that your life is magical and majestic, and it doesn't have to be something that's rigid, harsh, or hard. It can be something that's fluid and soft, right? And so Spirit is asking you, how can you make your life flow more? How can it appear to be more graceful? You have the truth. You have the answers. You have the awareness and the understanding to the depths of life and just the meaning of things. And so because you have so much wisdom, knowledge, and awareness, how can you use that to beautify your life? At the bottom of the deck, we have you cannot make a mistake. There are infinite possibilities available to you. Where's your heart guiding you? So if you are this seems like a dual mission going on. So one, you are becoming the truest version of you. Two, you're realizing that the role you're about to step in is expansive, right? This started before you, it's taking place now, but it will continue after you. And so whatever you are supposed to play, whatever role you're supposed to play, whatever you are supposed to create in this life is protected. So feel free to begin, feel free to trust. Now, whatever you choose to do as you step forward is open to you, and there are no mistakes. I feel like that should be, a little bit comforting, knowing that you cannot make a mistake, and that whatever you dream of, you're the dreamer. Whatever you dream of, whatever you see, whatever feels right, when your intuition is engaged, whatever feels right, whatever you're led to, wherever your heart takes you is where you're supposed to be. And once you get there, the people will be there that are for you. Once you get there, the mission will unfold, and it will at some point feel familiar, right? And so spirit is almost like fake it until you make it. Apply a grace to yourself and your life. Find a rhythm, right? And that rhythm is truth. Let the truth be your rhythm. Let that be what keeps you grounded and aligned when it seems like, we're losing focus or not moving or not understanding. All right. So we have doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. So nothing real can be threatened. And next to that is the card about, having doubt. And this is you having doubt about your own power and your own story, right? So I don't know if you have felt in your most recent experiences, relationships, connections, whatever, I don't know if you have felt threatened, literally under attacked by situations and circumstances, right? Maybe you felt like you went through a whole bunch of things that were, you know, pretty impactful in a negative way almost. And so you're starting to believe like, is this meant for me? Am I supposed to be doing this? It just always makes you question if you're where you're supposed to be when it seems like your environment is turning against you in some kind of way, right? And so this is about you realizing that even though it feels uncomfortable, even though it seems to be unknown and you don't have the answers, spirit is saying that you can't make a mistake, right? And so somehow you have to cooperate with the energy that you're feeling, even when it resists against you, right? And just because something is resisting you, rejecting you, not accepting you, um, doesn't mean that not, you're not right, you're not correct, you're not authentic, you're not progressing, right? So you may not have the answers to understand why certain things feel challenging, but you should always know that your story, your mission, your gifts are all real and they play a role. And so follow those, co-create, make heaven on earth a real thing during those times of confusion, during those times of challenge and struggle, right? So we have judgment next to your tribe can't show up until you do. So this is about being more of the real you. And sometimes, our relationships with others can really reveal to us where we are within our own relationship with ourselves. And so when we see judgment, it says understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. And so sometimes when we are not able to accept the downfalls of others, or we're just very harsh and not forgiving, that's also how we are with our own shortcomings. And so when we can release judgment, when we can no longer judge ourselves for our mistakes, we can also offer that to others, and in return the relationship will almost level up vibrationally, because you've moved past the small experiences. You've moved past believing that those things are true as you see them, and you understand there's a bigger story at play, right? And so every experience is necessary for your story to play out to fruition. And so when we're judging people and places and things, and we're not accepting or embracing them as they are, we're stopping ourselves in our own journey. We're almost pushing pause, right? And so when we accept our challenges, when we accept our path and that of others, we attract people that do the same exact thing. And then you can vibrate cohesively. So, freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. This is where we're talking about injecting grace into your life, realizing that you are the truth seeker. And so you can use your wisdom to bring, I mentioned a rhythm to your life, so to speak. But it's the power, I'm thinking of a wand's energy, but it's power within you, it's that force, it's that momentum. That's what you use to establish a softness to your life, right? That's where you just kind of surrender, you submit, you're easy, you don't stress. um you know, in every situation. Like, you're just very conscious of your emotion, because you want to be free. And so being free means you can't hold on to something any longer than it needs to be held on to. So that includes emotions, people, places, and things. Because in order to be free, you have to be light, you have to grow, you have to be willing to change. And so you don't, this energy, this grace is about not resisting any aspect of life and kind of just going with it, because that's really how you get to experience life in its truest form. That's how you get to create your own happiness, when you're not hanging onto or attached to things that aren't a part of your growth. At the bottom of the deck, we have forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. All right, so we'll dig into this, but if that is a message, please take that and use it as you need it, right? Sometimes when we're not forgiving, all the time, let me say this, all the time when we're not forgiving people, we are literally just, it has nothing to do with the other person at that point. It has everything to do with our own skill level. So when we don't forgive people, it's because we don't have the skill to, right? That's what it is. Forgiveness is something you have to practice. It's something you have to build up to. It's not easy, right? So when I say you don't have the skill to, that's not, to say that you don't know how. That just means that it sometimes it takes practice, because certain people, places, and things they can really harm you, right? But if you know love is what you deserve, then we can't not forgive because it blocks out love. You know what I mean? And so we don't want to stop what we deserve. Um, so yes. All right. So first card out, we have the Lovers. All right. And so this is about, the Lovers talks about a choice. The Lovers talks about, either am I going to, I'm pursuing love, but am I pursuing love with another person, or am I pursuing, love in another form? So this is choosing about how you are going to do love essentially in your life, right? So will it be with this person in this relationship, if that is on the table, or will it be with myself? Will it be with something that I love to do? After the Lovers, we have the Page of Wands. And so this is about, investigating something that has really sparked your passion, or something that has gotten you intrigued. Your desire, your fire is burning. And so this is you, kind of investigating a potential idea. Okay. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Cups. Okay. So let me just start off and just say that in the center, we have the Seven of Wands. So that's the energy of being defensive, or just kind of guarded, and, not always allowing things in or out. But nonetheless, so we have a choice in love, right? We have a choice in how we want to do love in a moment in our life right now. And we're investigating something has gotten us intrigued, something has really sparked us to want to explore, to discover more. And in comes the Ace of Swords, which is truth and clarity about what it is we're looking into. And so a few things are happening here. The overall energy is about the energy of Four of Cups. So think about feeling over it. This immediately makes me think about the forgiveness. So think about being in the Four of Cups energy. You have three cups in front of you. They're all empty. Your arms are crossed and you're over it. You've invested in situations. Those three cups can be people, places, things. Those can be anything that you thought would have amounted to something fruitful and fulfilling to you. But you've realized three cups in and they're all empty. This has given me nothing, right? Three is a number of joy. Um, Four is about stability, really grounding that joy. But three empty cups, you know, that there's just no possibility to ever have true fulfillment when we're in relationships that are superficial and they don't fill us up. If anything, they take away from us and deplete us. And so the Four of Cups is like, okay, are we going to only focus on these three cups so hard that we can't see Spirit offering us another opportunity? And so this is almost like a choice. So what do? Do we wallow? Do we sit in this energy and kind of reflect on where we've been, or do we just pick our head up slightly and realize the opportunity in the situation that's available for us, right? And so with this, whatever the situation is that you were in, if there is an opportunity for you to forgive, the message is to forgive, right? And why? Why is that necessary? Well, because that's when you let love in. When Spirit says to you that you cannot make a mistake, there are infinite possibilities. That's because you are operating without any blocks. You have no muck or yuckiness inside of you. So anything you choose is coming from a clean and clear space, right? And sometimes we have to forgive ourselves for putting ourselves in situations that really didn't reflect our truest self. But then also we forgive others, but nonetheless, we're all playing a role in each other's stories, right? And so things are necessary for growth, and that should always be remembered. And so if you had a choice at some point, or if you will be stepping into a choice in love, Spirit is saying that, if this is real, no outside influence can interrupt this this choice of love, right? And so if it's something that you want to pursue or investigate in, please don't be hesitant. Please don't stop yourself from moving forward because you don't have all the answers, because you don't have all the information. Spirit will bring you what you need to know. But if there is an opportunity, if something is available to you, step into it. Don't stop and wait until you know more. The energy of being guarded, the Seven of Wands kind of as the central energy. So maybe there was a relationship at some point. We have the Lovers, but then we also have Two of Cups. So maybe there was a union, but in a union, or, but we talked about being guarded. So there could be an opportunity for you to meet people, right? To find love, to have relationships with people who resonate with you, who believe what you do, right? But it requires you to open up, to step out, to reveal yourself, right? To show the world the real you. That's the only way that you are going to get what you deserve and desire when we're talking about connections and partnerships, right? But if we are very judgmental of people, and if we don't always accept what they give us, it can leave us to kind of build up walls to protect us ourselves, which makes sense. But unfortunately, it hinders our ability to have what we want in the future, right? And so this is realizing that when people cross our path, they're really just a mirror. What they give us is what they give us. They will never be able to give us any more. They will never be able to give us any less. What happened is what happened. So what do you do with that? Do you stay guarded? Do you stay defensive forever? No. When that situation ends, that energy must end, because now we must open to the possibilities that will come next. So we have the energy of the King of Swords. Now this could be an energy that can go either way, but because we have judgment here and being the real you, I think this is two things. I think the King of Swords is about clarity. It's about somebody who's very cerebral and logical and rational, but sometimes that person may be harsh and they may lack emotion. And so when we're talking about relationships and building and letting people in, it does take a level of softness, right? It does take us to be empathetic. And sometimes emotion doesn't always make sense. Humans are complex and we will never make sense. And so we can't be too harsh or guarded if we want connections that are divinely ordered for us to have in our life. We have to trust that they are out there. We have to forgive all the failures of our past. And then we have to be open to all these possibilities. Now, it seems like, the energy of the Seven of Wands, this being guarded, this protecting yourself, this standing your ground, this being a mountain, not moving, not wavering. This was a part of the world. This was a part of a cycle. So I feel like you had to learn how to do this in your own life. You had to learn how to defend yourself, how to protect yourself, right? And it took a lot of reflection, meditation. It took a lot of alone time, a lot of solitude, a lot of restless nights, a lot of discomfort for you to build up this strength that you now have when you are protecting self, right? You learn something. You know the truth about who you are. And so I feel like there's something new coming. I feel like what is to come for you is an opportunity for you to create whatever it is that you desire, whatever you dream of, whatever you envision. That is an opportunity that you have. The Knight of Wands was kind of the extra card that came out with this Queen of Pentacles here. But when we're talking about freedom, possessing the power, I feel like possessing power, that's what the Knight of Wands. This wand is power, and this is what propels this knight to pursue whatever it is they are passionate about. Much like the Queen of Pentacles, this is an energy that takes nothing but can turn it into beauty, right? This is an energy that is just very careful in how they create and how they plan, just very intentional. And so I think that you've learned to add a level of care to your life. You've learned to love yourself and to be tender with yourself. And sometimes we protect ourselves because we want to make sure that the most sacred aspects of who we are not damaged as we connect with people, places, and things. But I feel like Spirit is saying, listen, everything that you're doing was necessary. We got to this level and now we're leveling up, right? So now we've learned how to endure situations that were not for our good, our highest good. We've learned how to protect ourselves, how to respond to truth, how to only speak truth, how to call it out if it's not present. We've learned how to really operate in integrity. But now we are going to take our power, our knowledge, our wisdom, and our love for self and create. But in order to create, we have to be willing to release. So let's release all that we no longer need as we move forward. Excuse me, so sorry, 11s. So 11s, this is about you listening to your heart, but making sure that your heart is open, it's not guarded, and there are no walls around it, right? So this is forgiving all things that have really pissed you off, hurt you, harmed you, wounded you in some kind of way. Something that has made you feel like, I'm over it. Forgive all those over it moments, because as soon as you do, you open up possibilities and opportunities for yourself to step into this next version of you, which is this creator, this boss, right? This person who is going to be linking up with their soul tribe, who's going to have the freedom to create their own happiness, right? That's that Queen of Pentacles. This is creating what makes you most happy. And even when you don't have the answers, you push forward because you realize this is really your story and nothing can stop it, right? So we go forward boldly. And when we need to know something, we trust that Spirit will bring it to us. And it may come in the form of these new connections that are coming our way. But let's not be so rigid and harsh in the energy of this King of Swords that we block or cut out things that could be vital in our forward movement and how we move forward. All right, 11s, I'm hoping something in there was useful. Thank you so much for stopping by. Take care.